Like most people, I used to use those big fat bifold wallets that dads use, where you put them in your back pocket and it literally makes one of your butt cheeks look like it's bigger than the other one. At some point in my life, people started making slim wallets, and I knew it was time for a change. So I got a bunch. I've used a number of slim wallets in the past, and some I've lost, some I've given away, some I've sold. Clearly, I've never found the right wallet for me. The problem is, a lot of these slim wallets nowadays focus primarily on cards. Their argument is people don't really carry cash around anymore, so their priority is not cash, it's cards. And I get it, especially since the pandemic, we're all trying to do everything contact free, tap, 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 tap. But I'm old school. I like to carry some cash with me. Most wallets look something like this. This is, excuse me, I don't really remember the name of this wallet, but this is one of the few last slim wallets that I have still kicking around. I use this from time to time. It's not my favorite wallet, but overall it's a pretty generic standard wallet. You have a main compartment up here to hold your cards, and you have a pull tab to access said cards. On the front, there's another pocket for you to put additional cards in. I've started putting some cash in here. On the side here, there's another pocket for cards or maybe folded up receipts. They advertise this as a cash pocket. The thing is, I noticed here in Canada, our cash is a little bit bigger than elsewhere. So if you fold Canadian cash once, like kind of like a sandwich or no, a hot dog, and you put it in here, it ends up being a little bit too long and it sticks out from the side. If you fold it 2 times, it gets shoved in too deep and it's rather difficult to get your hand in there to fetch the cash out. So what I ended up doing is I ended up putting cash up here in the front. I still need to fold this twice in order to get in here. And that is my main complaint with a lot of these slim wallets, is that their priority is not cash, it's cards. And so therefore they say, yeah, you can put cash in here as well, you can put a few bills in here, but then you have to fold cash multiple times in order to get into a pocket. Some other slim wallets out there, they also have a clip, like a money clip essentially, but I don't know, I just find that it feels very insecure. It's like all your money is exposed. I don't really like that. A few years ago, I backed a company on Kickstarter on their brand new wallet because from the first look of it, I knew it was the wallet for me. And I've used it for several years now and I love it. I just never thought of making a video for it until now. So along comes this wallet right here. This is the Trove Cash Wrap. Trove Cash Wrap. They are a company based in the UK, and prior to this wallet, they've actually had a pretty well-known wallet on the market already called the Trove Swift. Essentially, it's basically the same as this piece right here. This is essentially what the Trove Swift was. I think the Trove Swift is a little bit, you can hold more cards in here, whereas this piece is a little bit less, but it's a pretty standard design. You have a elastic that wraps around, and then there's a pull tab to get to cards, and basically you just put cards in, and the cards act as the structure, the rigidity of the wallet, and essentially it's just an elastic band. I think the Nomadic had a similar wallet. It's called the Basic. Similar concept, similar idea. But yeah, the Swift wallet was actually a huge success, and they've, it's a pretty well-known wallet from this company called Trove. But what's unique about this wallet, this cash wrap, is that they have this, card compartment, but they also include this flap here. This flap is made out of leather and is essentially just a, it's a wrapper to make your wallet look that much prettier. But the unique thing about it is that it also allows you to store cash in here, and the cash basically wraps around here, so you don't have to fold it every time you put cash in. So inside this flap, there is another flap, and this flap basically allows you to store your cash. So your cash essentially goes into here. This flap holds it in place, and when it's inside your wallet, your cards essentially grab onto this piece right here, so your cash doesn't accidentally fall out. Here, let me demonstrate. This is actually, I find, pretty interesting. So if I were to put this back together, I think that goes there. Yeah, exactly. So the flap that I showed you earlier is right here. You can see it right here. Okay, let's put a few more cards in here just to make it a little bit more rigid. So we have some cards in here. We have some cards on both sides, and there's the flap right there. So essentially, whenever you want to put cash in here, all you have to do is just grab your cash and then slide it into that slot, like so. And it's a little bit finicky, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, you just slide your cash in there, and let's grab a few more bills. So here's another $20, and let's put that in the back. Okay, so that's in, and then fold it up, and then you can elasticize it. Is that a word? Elasticize it. And then when you're ready to use your cash, just undo that, open this first flap, and here you can already see all of your bills, and you can see the amount of every single one of your bills. I'm pretty sure every single currency has the amount on the top right. So I'm pretty sure you can sift through all of your bills like so. Once you find the one that you want, all you have to do is just pull it. And there you go. That makes it so much easier than to have to, fetch into a little pocket to grab your cash and have to pull it out. And whenever you get your cash out, it's all creased up because it's folded up on both sides. This is actually very annoying. I really hate this. This makes it a lot easier. Yes, it's still kind of folded, but even these old bifold wallets that I mentioned that dads use, it's still kind of creased a little bit, but it doesn't have that permanent crease, so it's a little bit more bearable. And like I said, when you put it in, you don't have to fold it before you put it in. You can just slide it into the slot back here, and then you can fold it up. And getting to it is also very easy. I love the fact that you can just pull it out and you can access your bills immediately. Also, it's a little bit better than those money clips that I mentioned earlier because your cash isn't exposed. It's still inside the wallet. Everything is nicely packed together. And then when you want to get to it, it's very simple. In terms of cards, it's the same thing as a lot of the other slim wallets. Basically, there's a little pull tab here, and when you pull that out, you can get to your cards here. On the inside, there's also another spot for you to put cards in here. And here it's a little bit harder to access, so you probably want to put stuff that you don't need to access that often, like maybe your ID, stuff like that. And then back here, there's also another pocket where they say you can put coins in there. I mean, I guess you can, but it also it indents the leather on the wallet. I mean, if that's okay for you, that's fine. Or you can put other things in there like receipts and whatnot. You can add it to the slot. But overall, this is a fantastic wallet that carries cards and cash, and it does it in a very ingenious way for you to access your cash. Now, what I mentioned earlier about the fact that this is actually kind of finicky, it is actually a little bit finicky when you want to put cash in, because when you have a slot that's in here, you kind of have to find the flap, and then you have to shove it in, and then get that in there. It's a little bit finicky, but I still find it easier than to have to grab a bill, fold it up once, crease it, fold it up again, crease it, and then grab your wallet and then find that little thing and then shove it in there. This is still a little bit of an easier process to me. Even though it is a little bit finicky, I find this to be a little bit easier. My method of getting around this finicky method is that I usually like to put cash in between two bills or on the very back, because in the front here, when you want to put cash here, it might get caught between the cards, so it might be a little bit harder to get in. But when you actually feed it through in between two bills or on the back, you're guaranteed to almost always get it in. It's just a matter of sliding it in a little bit. So I actually don't mind it too much, especially with Canadian cash. Our cash is pretty much plastic, so it slides pretty easily. If your cash is paper, it might be a little bit harder, but I actually don't mind it too much. I find this to be very, very easy to access a lot of your cash. So this is the Trove Cash Wrap. Overall, if you want to talk about cosmetics, I've had this for several years. It hasn't really patinaed really at all. The stitching has remained perfectly fine. Nothing's been loose or anything like that. This pull tab also works perfectly fine. Nothing degraded. Nothing was tearing or anything like that. It's a rather flimsy pull tab. It's not very thick in terms of its material, but it's held up over the years, and it seems to be doing just fine. But overall, I find this to be an extremely well-designed wallet, especially for those of us that are still carrying around cash. This is probably the wallet to get. I mean, honestly, I haven't looked at any other wallets since I've gotten this one, so I don't know what else is on the market. Maybe there's something better. You guys can tell me. But overall, I find this to be the perfect wallet. If you want a slim wallet to carry cards and especially cash, this is the wallet to get.